and his impeccable slogan, "Let's make America healthy again." What Americans think of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his health stances. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about health because I think since I've read about, give or take, 500 books on health and the history of health, I find myself qualified to talk on this subject. I think I've read more on health than anybody else in the world, and I feel like I'm qualified to judge RFK Kennedy's stances when it comes to health. Let's read. So excited. I cannot even hide it anymore. The kids seen by Dolores Mejia or Maya or Meja around suburban Phoenix have been growing heavier in recent years. Their parents, too, she says. Maya or Meja or Mejia, a 75-year-old retiree, says she's also had her own weight struggles on the scale. That's why Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s pledge to make America healthy again, as he campaigned alongside Donald Trump, caught her attention. She liked the questions Kennedy raised about the role of processed foods in America's obesity epidemic. Actually, there's a lot of talk about those processed foods in America, and there are certain things that are widely used in America that are not used in Europe. For example, Coca-Cola in Europe use sugar, I think, and in America it's some sort of syrup. It's something else that's not sugar. I'm gonna Google it now to prove to you that I'm right. What U.S. uses in cola instead of sugar? Corn syrup. Yes. In the U.S. it's like corn syrup or something. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Dr. Jones. You said it. You said it before me, but I also said it. But you know what I mean. Yeah? Right. So you have the processed foods. So where were we? She liked the questions Kennedy raised about the role of processed foods in America's obesity epidemic. It's probably also tied to economy, how much people can afford of stuff, how much can people afford to buy healthier options, even ingredients, how much time people have to cook. It's all intertwined. Ironically enough, being poor can lead to you being pretty fat, which sounds like something that's very contradictory, but it's not necessarily so. It's pretty weird, right? Like your economic situation is worse, but that can actually lead you to be having more problems with obesity. That feels very contradictory on the surface. I'm a junk food person, said Mejia or Maya or Mejia. An ardent Trump supporter. Oh, of course, an ardent Trump supporter. I started wondering where those extra pounds came from. Okay, if you solely eat junk food and one day you just stop and are like, my whole diet consists only of junk food, I wonder, where do those extra pounds come from? There's only one conclusion that I can come to when your thought process sort of goes in that direction. And that conclusion is that you're definitely a ardent Trump supporter. Okay? If your mind's like, as I eat my fifth hamburger, I wonder, where do those extra pounds come on? Oh my god. I feel like I'm being mean, awful, terrible, but really? After hearing Kennedy out, she concluded, we cannot trust the health organizations we've trusted for years to tell us that our foods are safe. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, that is how health organizations work all over the world. Okay? Well, not over. In many countries. I'm gonna forget what I just said. All over the world. In many countries, a lot of the health organizations will warn you time and time and time again. They will tell you eating junk food, drinking a certain types of liquids like sodas, the ones that I drink, might lead to obesity and other problems with health. Okay? I don't know any health organization, maybe except for the US apparently. Maybe that's why this lady, this person, lady, this lady said that she cannot trust the health organizations anymore because the US health organizations look at the fast food industry and are like, "Oh yeah, it's completely fine. Yeah, it's safe. You're not there's not going to be any obesity problems whatsoever." No matter, yeah, of course, of course. There's no problemo. No problemo. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it that there's like the US Health Organization uniquely just spread the message of, yeah, yeah, sure. Just eat, like make the junk food your entire diet. It's going to be fine. It's going to be safe for you. Like, I don't buy it for a second. Republicans such as Mejia have embraced Kennedy, the brainworm guy, that want his medical prescriptions are just out of this earth, whose alliance with the president-elect could make the prominent environmentalist and vaccine skeptic the nation's top health official. I have to repeat this sentence. I have to make it sink in for everybody that has not heard it. Republicans such as this person have embraced Kennedy, whose alliance with the president-elect could make the prominent environmentalist and vaccine skeptic the nation's top health official. Top health official in the land next year. Republicans hold an overwhelmingly positive view of Kennedy, with most approving of Trump's decision to put him in his administration, according to recent polling from the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. If it's not going to be listed in this article, then we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to read all of this person's medical opinions because, oh boy, if you don't know, then you don't know. But if you're American, you probably know. You're probably famous at this point. This like what was it? Remove the fluoride from water. There were some really weird, insane, even health prescriptions that this person has made and promised to put into practice. So I want to see them listed here so that we don't have to go anywhere else to see them. Lucy, have I made you homeless yet? Also, you've interrupted the segment. You're the one that's going to have to edit this out. What do you mean made me homeless yet? What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Am I missing something? What do you mean have you made me homeless yet? You've turned me into a Hank once, if memory serves. Oh. Fake Alec Hank Parker. True. Oh my god, that is so true. Fake Alec Hank Parker. Oh, it's a Zan reference. Not yet. Listen, you will know that you've made me homeless once I start sending you angry DMs. Okay? You will know when you have done it. You will know. You will have known. My wrath. You will have known. What is it? What is it? I lost track. Thanks to fake Alec Hank Parker. Ay. According to recent polling from the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, an AP vote cast a survey of more than 120,000 voters in the 2024 presidential election. But Americans overall are less positive about Kennedy, and there isn't broad support for some of his views. Whoa. This is highlighted, which include closer scrutiny of vaccines. I wanna take a look at this. Some of his views. Alright, this is what I've been waiting for. What to know about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump's pick for health secretary. Let's go. I wanna get a glimpse some of the views. I want it. I want it. I'm begging for it. Like a beggared. All right, President-elect Donald Trump's silent, but one of the here's a look at Kennedy and the agency he'll be tasked with leading. Kennedy defies scientific consensus on vaccines and other issues. Just it's not. He's a go-getter. He won't just stop at vaccines. He'll fight the scientific consensus on other things as well. Let's read. He took over the anti-vaccine group Children's Health Defense and built it into a juggernaut during the pandemic, which, holy crap. Okay? All I can say is that this person who's about, and I'm saying this completely seriously, this person who's about to become the health minister, through his actions, has contributed to the death of Americans from something that was completely preventable by doing the anti-vaccine bit during the pandemic. His activism helped him build a loyal following that he's leveraged in his political pursuits. Kennedy insists he's not anti-vaccine and claims he has never told the public to avoid vaccination, which is probably a lie. But he has repeatedly made his opposition to vaccines clear. He said on a podcast, "There's no vaccine that is safe and effective." What? Actually, you know what? There are many vaccines that are safe and effective, tested time and time and time again, and has urged people to resist CDC guidelines on when kids should get vaccinated, exposing them to danger, by the way. Like endangering their immunity systems, all that nice stuff that children actually kind of need. While there are rare instances when people have severe reactions to vaccines, the billions of doses administered globally provide real-world evidence that they are safe. By the way, there are many different important things when it comes to discussing vaccines, right? Correlation does not equal causation is one of the most important rules when it comes to vaccines and their side effects. You could have a person have a vaccine shot, be vaccinated, and seconds later develop severe symptoms, like severe physical symptoms. Seconds later, immediately after being vaccinated. You have to remember something, and it's very important. It still does not follow that the vaccine itself was the culprit. These things might have happened completely independently, just correlatively. It might have been a complete coincidence that the symptoms happened to manifest right after being vaccinated. And that is a thing that always is taken into consideration when observing and trying to see if vaccines cause side effects, severe side effects or not. Okay? Remember that, please. Like when someone tells you, oh, X took the vaccination and then Y happened to them. It does not follow that Y happened because of the vaccination. There has to be a link established. Right? Okay. I'm glad we agree. I'm glad we are on the same page when it comes to this. Let's continue. As many as 5 million deaths each year. While there are rare instances of people who have severe reaction to vaccines, the billions of doses administered globally provide real-world evidence that they are safe. The World Health Organization says vaccines prevent as many as 5 million deaths each year. 5 million deaths prevented each year. He wants to eliminate liability protections for drug companies. Even before Trump was elected, Kennedy said he would recommend water agencies stop adding fluoride to drinking water. Fluoride strengthens teeth and is viewed as one of the biggest public health successes of the past century. Let's just stop using that. Why not? Huh? Let's just stop. Stop it. Stop it. He made a variety of other claims not backed by science, such as questioning whether HIV causes AIDS and suggesting antidepressants lead to school shootings. This is gonna be your health minister. Antidepressants lead to school shootings. What is the. I was about to be silly. I was actually about to be silly. I almost asked, what is the evidence for that? But I forgot. We're dealing with a person that had slash has brain worms. So, I don't know. Maybe it's, my goodness. Antidepressants lead to school shootings. Who would have known? Definitely not me. Children's Health Defense currently has a lawsuit pending against a number of news organizations, among them the Associated Press, accusing them of violating antitrust laws by taking action to identify misinformation, including about COVID 19 and COVID 19 vaccines. Kennedy took leave from the group when he announced his run for president, but is listed as one of its attorneys in the lawsuit. How dare you try to combat misinformation? We're gonna sue you. He wants to overhaul HHS staff. Kennedy has promised to take serious look at those who work for HHS and its agencies, including the Food and Drug Administration, the National Industries of Health, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Preventing disease? Nonsense. It cannot be done. He is especially focused on putting an end to the revolving door of employees who have previous history working for pharmaceutical companies or leave government service to work for that industry. His campaign communications managed Del Bigtree told the AP last month. Bigtree is also an anti-vaccine organizer. Of course he is. Of course he is. I'm baffled and astonished, by the way, that the whole anti-vaccine movement has gained so much traction. It is just, I never would have saw that coming, actually. He said he wants to fire 600 employees at the National Institutes of Health, which oversees vaccine research, and replace them with 600 new employees. Many of the scientists and researchers who work at the NIH are not political appointees, which makes firing them abruptly more difficult. Nevertheless, Kennedy made the promise at the Genius Network annual event in Scottsdale, Arizona, according to a video first obtained by ABC News. We need to, okay, let me try this again. We need to act fast, and we need to have those people in place on January 20th, so that on January 21st, 600 people are going to walk into offices at NIH, and 600 people are going to leave, Kennedy said, according to a video of his remarks posted on YouTube. He says the public health establishment is too focused on infectious diseases and wants to redirect resources towards panoply of problems he characterizes as the chronic diseases epidemic, including obesity, diabetes, autism, and mental illness. Autism? Autism is a chronic disease? What? The autism is a chronic disease guy is gonna be your number one health guy. Amazing. Let's continue. Let's just continue. I love it. He blames them on greedy corporations, including drug companies that worry healthy Americans would be bad for their bottom line, and food producers using harmful pesticides and additives. Yes, those surely cause mental illness and autism, for that matter. Kennedy is a scion of a famous, I don't care. He's known for run-ins with dead animals and dead brainworm. He's known for run-ins with dead animals and a dead brainworm. Doctors found a dead parasitic worm in Kennedy's brain and high levels of mercury that has said caused brain fog and memory problems. Again, this is going to be your number one health guy. He once retrieved a bear that was killed by a motorist and left it in New York's Central Park with a bicycle on top, speaking a mystery that consumed the city in 2014. Sparking a mystery, not speaking. Sparking a mystery. A photo showed Kennedy with his fingers in the bear's bloodied mouth, a mock grimace on his face, and an apparent bloodstain on his pant leg. He denied eating a dog after a friend shared a photo with Vanity Fair showing Kennedy dramatically preparing to take a bite of a charred animal. Kennedy said it was a goat. And the federal law enforcement agency opened an investigation after Kennedy allegedly cut off the head of a dead whale and took it home 2 decades ago. The National Marine Fisheries Service ended the probe a short time later. Oh, send me a screenshot. This is just wild. All right. So yes, cool. All right. Let's continue then. Let us continue. Let's continue. This is great. I can see no negative consequences for American healthcare as this man becomes the top dog in the health thing. It's going to be great. Make America healthy again, I say. Big changes could be in store for FDA and drug makers. Drug makers gotta make changes. Kennedy's nomination is certain to be opposed by the pharmaceutical lobby in Washington, the deep state, that is, which relies on predictability of FDA science-based rules to bring new medicines to market. Pfft, ridiculous and silly. Who would ever, in their right mind, what's the word? Oof, I've got a brain fog. Maybe I've got a brain worm. Depend. Who would ever depend on science-based rules to bring new medicines to market? That's just ridiculous. That is such a ridiculous standard. And don't worry, Kennedy's just gonna put an end to that nonsense. Kennedy's proposals for the agency bear little resemblance to those of prior Republican administrators, which have typically favored cutting regulations to speed up product approvals. Instead, Kennedy has suggested barring drug makers from advertising on TV, a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that accounts for most of the industry's marketing dollars. He's also proposed eliminating fees that drug makers pay the FDA to review their products, allowing the agency to hire extra scientists to speed up their work. Replacing those funds would require billions in new appropriations from the federal budget. In a post last month to the social media platform X, Kennedy vowed to end FDA's aggressive suppression of a host of unsubstantiated therapies, including psychedelics and stem cells, as well as discredited COVID-era drugs like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. Isn't ivermectin still good for horses or something? In recent interviews, aggressive suppression. Oh my god. The aggressive suppression of ivermectin. In recent interviews, Kennedy has also suggested clearing out entire departments at FDA, including the one responsible for nutrition standards. So yeah, these are some of his views. Okay, some of his views. Exciting? You excited? Let's continue. Let's continue then. Let's continue. We're gonna continue after these messages. Confirmed prescription provide Americans Senate some of the views. This is where we were at. This is where we stopped. Which includes closer scrutiny on vaccines. I've already read this, but you have to hear it again, so it's okay. If confirmed by the Senate, Kennedy will be charged with leading the Department of Health and Human Services, a $1.7 trillion agency that researches cancer, approves prescription drugs, and provides health insurance for roughly half the country. So many people are gonna die from easily preventable disease now. I'm just gonna call it now. So many people are just gonna die from those easily preventable things because what Americans think about RFK Jr. as nation's top health official. About 6 in 10 Republicans approve of Kennedy's appointment to Trump's cabinet, and only about 1 in 10 disapprove, to an AP NORC poll conducted in December, while the rest aren't familiar with him or didn't have an opinion. Conspiracy nut job is gonna be at the top of our healthcare. I don't really have an opinion. Whatever. Hello, the bird. How TF did I end up in the loony bin with you whack jobs? What do you mean, the bird? Who are the whack jobs? A malaria drug. I don't think it's suppressed when it comes to um, dealing with malaria, though. It depends. Are you from the US? Have you voted Trump? The bird? I'm gonna look you up. The bird. The bird is the word. There's nothing that I can tell about you based on your channel. So I'm gonna have to see you comment more. There are studies that both of those do not help with COVID. I know. I know they don't. You don't have to tell me that. I know they don't help. It's pretty late in the game to be telling that those medications do not help with COVID. I think we're past having to establish that anymore. We've had quite a few years since COVID has started. So yes, the bird. The bird. Please make yourself known. All right. Oh, didn't have an opinion. He's found allies in the most conservative corners of the Republican Party. The most illiterate corners, you mean? The most illiterate man in the land with a brainworm becomes the top guy in the US healthcare. Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts credited Kennedy at an event on Wednesday for sounding the alarm for years about what he sees as the dangerous nexus of government agencies, non-profits, and corporations that have made Americans sicker and more obese. Kennedy's talk of healthy foods is what captured the attention of Natalie Morales, a 32-year-old engineer in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who identifies as an independent. She likes his promises to take on powerful companies, and she's eager to see him challenge the ingredients they use in the food she finds on supermarket shelves. You know what you should be buying on supermarket shelves? Raw ingredients. And then you should take them home and cook them into meals. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds insane. But you can do that. You can buy meat at a meat department. For example, you can buy some potatoes. You can buy a variety of vegetables. You can cut them up. You can eat them raw. A lot of vegetables you can eat raw. Shocking, I know. Or you can boil them. You can fry them even. You can, in addition, buy spices. Get some spice. Prepare the meat. Cook the meat. Boil the potatoes. And oh my god, you've got yourself a meal. Oh no. Wow. Incredible. Oh well, let's forget about that. To be fair, not everybody has time to cook. I'm gonna be fair here. Not everybody has time to just buy raw ingredients and to cook. That's some people just work from morning to sundown. They go back. They just are tired, and they need some fast solutions to food. And in this case, it's fair to say I want my pre-made meals not to be pumped with chemicals or whatever. So I guess that's fair, I would say. Even just buying foods from the grocery store, like what else is in there, Morales said. That's my main concern, and hopefully he can figure out what the underlying issues are and see if we can do better. Nobody here has even identified what the problems are. Americans don't have taste buds. I mean, I assure you some very much do, okay? I promise you, there are Americans with great taste buds. Listen, this beauty is made in America, okay? This is made in America. So I assure you, Americans do have taste buds, okay? This is evidence. This is evidence that Americans indeed have taste buds. I've proven to you, I think, conclusively. Okay, let's continue. You don't even have mayonnaise Kautrzyński. I have many different beautiful things. We need the Old Bay emote. I'm gonna add it, okay? I'm gonna add it right now. Should I add it? Fake Alec Kyle Parker, can you add an Old Bay emote to this chat? Are you great or ain't? Can you? Can any of you? Should I? Okay, I will add it. I will add it today after stream. That's a promise. That's a promise. All right, let's continue. Let's just get this show on the road. A little more bees, buying foods. Kennedy doesn't fare as well among Americans overall, with about 4 in 10 US adults disapproving and about 3 in 10 approving of his appointment. That's still too much, to be honest. Although Kennedy is a member of one of the most powerful Democratic dynasties in the country, most Democrats said they don't like that he's being named to Trump's cabinet. About 6 in 10 Democrats strongly disapprove of the pick, the December poll found. That's a higher share of disapproval than other high-profile picks, such as, I mean, yeah, of course, a conspiracy nut is gonna be in charge of the American health. Oh my god, oh my gosh, I wonder why so many people disapprove. What a grand mystery. Why would so many Democrats disapprove of this guy that thinks that vaccines are fake, should not be in charge of our healthcare? It's ridiculous. Provide Trump's cabinet 6 out of 10. The December poll found that's a higher share of disapproval than other high-profile picks, such as Pete Hegseth to be Defense Secretary or Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. Oh my god, who could have seen this coming? His anti-vaccine stance is not broadly popular? Oh my god, how can this be? It is such a reasonable stance. How can it not be popular? How can it not be popular? This is just ridiculous. Kennedy started his career as an environment. Let me try this again. Kennedy has started his career as an environmental lawyer and won big lawsuits against companies over the chemicals used in weed killers and heavy metal smelters. But in recent years, he's attracted a sizable and loyal following over his claims that vaccines recommended and championed by the nation's public health agency are dangerous. That's despite decades of research, laboratory testing, and real-world use that shows childhood vaccinations have prevented millions of deaths. There's no vaccine that is safe and effective, Kennedy said on a podcast in July 2023 during a Fox News interview the same year. He said he believes a repeatedly discredited idea that vaccines can cause autism. By the way, there's a really interesting story about how this whole thing started when a reputable journal printed an article about how vaccines cause autism because a scientist was paid to write such an article in order to help win a lawsuit. It's a very famous case. It has been immediately disproved by the international scientific community. The very famous medical journal has been disgraced and had to just retract the article. But the damage has been done, the conspiracy has been sown, and people like Kennedy just repeat it to this day. But it all started with an article in a scientific journal, and this lie has just continued to be, I don't know, it's just stupid. So yeah, your top health guy believes that vaccines cause autism. That's great. In recent days, Trump has increasingly suggested that the link between autism and vaccines should be studied. It has been studied. That was the whole point. That was the one good thing that came out of that article. It has been studied and disproven, debunked completely. Although decades of research has already concluded there is no connection between the two. Trump and Kennedy allies have promised not to take away vaccines, instead saying they oppose government mandates and want to conduct more research on the vaccines. But about half of voters want the government to be more involved in ensuring children are vaccinated for childhood diseases, according to AP Vote. No kidding. Most Republican voters like RFK Jr. and most Democrats did not. Oh, wow. I wonder why. I wonder what leads to this little divide. People who voted in the presidential race this November held divided views on Kennedy, according to AP Votecast. Kennedy has dropped out of the presidential race by that point, throwing his support behind Trump, but remained on the ballot in some states. There you go. There you have it. Amazing, right? This guy's gonna be in charge of your health. I, for one, cannot wait, and I cannot wait to tell you about the results moving forward. That's it. That's it. I think we've talked about it for long enough. Fearless Tadpole. I love trans babies. They make the world go round. Who are you? How did you find this stream? And why did you say that? Why would you say such a strange thing? What pushed you to saying this? What on God's green earth pushed you to say something as weird as that? Some people just want to be seen and just write whatever comes to mind. You should think before you speak. If there's any advice that I can bestow upon you, it's think before you speak. It'll do you good. And then after you finish thinking and speaking, come to the page lucyhaza.org/live and become a subscriber. Okay? All right? All right. We've done our political segment for tonight. I'm spent. I'm going to see if there's anything else that I really want to talk to you about. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Did you know that Chinese hackers have remotely accessed workstations, documents, and have just, hacked the American Treasury? That happened. That just happened. Just, there you go. That's a thing.